most important part of my life is my time with family and friends, my private life. This part is my day job. And here my creativity and videos on YouTube. When I look where the money comes from, it changes like this. And when I show what gives me joy, it looks like this. Different images. Still, each version is me and my life. Hi there, my name is Albert van der Zwart. Welcome to Imperfect Paintings, inspiring you to embrace the magic of making art. When I think of my life, I can divide it into an endless number of boxes, files or a grid-like structure. But while painting, I already noticed that the darker lines don't feel right, so I changed them to this. Today, I want to look at the artwork of Richard Pousette-Dart to help me get my thoughts on paper. Link up here or in the description below the video for more background on the artist. If I wouldn't tell you, you might think it's a random series of artworks made by a bunch of artists. But these are all made by the same artist, Richard Pousette-Dart. He's one of the Irascibles, the group of American abstract expressionists of the 1950s. Perhaps you've seen this picture. Here a version with their names. Perhaps you recognize a few. My handwriting isn't that great, so I just printed these and put them randomly down. I know I could use a nice word web or mind map like scheme, but I don't want it. It's too controlled for this situation. I look at the words and add a green bottle cap to friends, strangers, family, neighbors, the people words. I take a picture in case I need the image. The empty places get a yellow spot. The words without a cap get some red paint. And green paint for each box with a cap. The ones with family or friends get an extra orange spot as well. And I forget about the words and just continue painting. When I look at this painting by Richard Pousette-Dart, I look for a structure, a way of working, an idea behind it. I know it's abstract and any reasoning is perhaps lost on it, but the way I relate his work to my way of doing is not to copy his. I use it as a way to go forward. I make my painting, get stuck, go back to his artwork and see a way to go forward again. Making a painting myself helps me to dig deeper into the paintings of Pousette-Dart. I look with my brush, if that makes sense to you. How does he add color? Does he use specific shapes per color, or for instance only round or rounded shapes? Is the color blue in the whole painting identical? Or did he use lighter or darker versions as well? And while painting my sheet, I forget all my questions and just continue painting the way it feels right. While finishing the last spots, I realize I painted myself into a corner, so to say. I have all these filled squares in a grid, colorful, but also a bit chaotic. This is one of the paintings Pousette-Dart made, Cathedral. In this wonderful book, I found a series of black and white photographs over the period of 6 weeks. It's interesting to see how many changes he made in that time period. Later the painting was used as the design for a giant brass door. I turned to Pousette-Dart for direction, looking for a bold move forward. In these artworks I noticed a number of things. He sort of ignored the grid structure and created bigger shapes. In others he only used a number of colors or brought them back to a few. Because I mainly work with transparent paints, I use opaque paint like gesso and titanium white to change the image. These white lines change the image enormously. But the white is too subtle, so I add black and instantly I see what I am making. A portrait. My interpretation of or my reaction on the artwork of Richard Pousette-Dart is pure personal. I don't know what he was thinking. I do know he worked process-based and was investigating personal things and also the spiritual. I also love to work process-based like this, and the easiest way for me is to start doing, my personal art-making mantra. From there I can feel, touch, probe, test and check if I'm going in the right direction. Doing gives me feedback in the form of an image I can look at, right from the first brush stroke on. Remember the dark grid structure at the beginning? It was too dominant and needed a softer tone. I can sit on my couch thinking about art or making a painting, but that will never give me that crucial instant feedback I get from actually doing. By adding the leftover pieces of paper from my printed worksheets, I bring down the cacophony around me. I also add a thin layer of light blue and fix my mistake of painting over the white line. There's a debate in the art world whether an artist should explain the art he or she makes. I believe that in situations like this, where I share videos showing what I make, I can also be interesting to explain the why or the reasons for using my materials. Like I do in this case of making a personal inner portrait. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of explaining making art like this. The black line defines me and is at the same time a barrier against the outside world. Like we all have a skin and an immune system. But our skin is thin, so this thick black line feels more like it's isolating me. To learn from others or to communicate with others, I have to be open in a way. So at first I had a light pink line over it, followed by painting the whole line white. But now it looks too open to me. I think of different materials because it doesn't feel right at this moment. Again, I turn to Pousette-Dart and find these white paintings of him. The information next to the photograph in the book says acrylics and graphite on handmade paper. So I take a little test sheet, paint it white, and take a graphite pencil and start drawing lines. Interesting. So a fresh white line over the painting and I make lines in it. It looks a bit strange and the graphite isn't that visible. Perhaps I should have waited for the paint to dry? Messing around and learning is all part of the process, I guess. In case you prefer to paint colorful squares, just click on the link and I will see you over there in the next video. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.